We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast, episode number 84. Welcome to the We Make Movies podcast, making the world a better place, one film at a time. And now, here are your hosts, otherwise known as the director, the actress, and who the hell is that guy? Chad, Michelle, and Garrett. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast. Podcast is all about how to get your movie made, how to get it seen by other people, and how to get it awesome. I'm your host, Garrett Robinson. With me, as always, faithful co-hosts Chad Kukihiko and Michelle Lucadou. We are all of us independent filmmakers and members of the We Make Movies filmmaking community in Los Angeles. How's it going, guys?
Wonderful.
Fabulous.
Just wonderful.
I'm not in my office, as you will have noticed.
And my office looks different, as you may or may not have noticed.
I'm not in my office, because I don't have an office.
The posters in your background are fantastic, Chad.
Yeah.
I am in San Francisco. I am actually broadcasting on Wi-Fi. Fingers crossed that we don't have lag issues or anything like that. And we are going to be doing a slightly shorter show today because we're getting started a little bit late and I am out on family trip, so I have to go be doing family stuff. But
we started like that was my fault.
But it was your fault because you were at a screening, which is an important thing. Like we don't ever want to detract from our actual film careers on the We Make Movies podcast because it is the We Make Movies podcast.
Yes.
But if you are watching,
apologize for being late, nonetheless.
Oh, no problem. If you are watching this live, feel free to comment on the YouTube channel or tweet us at #WeMakeMovies, and we will respond live on the air. And with that, we will leap right into the news items for the week. So, I will begin. They released a Point Break trailer. Have you seen this? Remake?
I'm avoiding it.
Okay.
So far, I've successfully avoided it.
Okay. Well, for some reason, you might be one of these people, but for some reason, people I'm connected to online are, like, really upset about this.
That's silly.
Yeah, it's silly to be upset, right?
It is.
I don't understand, because it's like they think that the original Point Break has, like, some sort of holy status that protects it from ever being remade. And I guess I just don't see Point Break as this landmark moment in American cinema. Don't get me wrong. I love Point Break. It's fantastic. I love that movie. But it's not like, if they announce plans to remake Citizen Kane, I will get right on the hate bandwagon, you know? But Point Break, it's a story about a cop who goes undercover with a group of bank-robbing surfers. That's the most ridiculous American action fantasy in existence. And this trailer makes it look like the movie is going to be 10 times as ridiculous. So, like, what's the deal? Why are people so uptight about this?
'Cause it's the internet.
Well, no, and it's also, I think it's like a cult thing. It's kind of a cult classic. Like,
So that's assuming that it's for real, that they're actually legitimately upset. You really think they're actually legitimately upset? Because I doubt it.
I mean, like, how do we say what legitimately upset is?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, people will get upset on the internet about just about anything.
That's my point. But I don't think they're legitimate, though. I don't think it's legitimate. If it's internet outrage, I think it's internet outrage.
Nothing's legitimate on the internet.
They're just complaining to complain rather than because they actually have a problem.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right. I would watch it. I'd watch a remake of Point Break.
I'm definitely going to watch it. But the lead actor looks like James McAvoy, and I have a tremendous man crush on him. So I thought it was him in the trailer.
Great idea. Everybody's half naked all the time, and, you know.
Dude.
There's cops, and everybody's around. And
it's all extreme sports. It's not just surfing. It's like every extreme sport. They've got the squirrel suits. They've got the skydiving. They've got the, BMX.
The best thing
biking.
about Point Break is Point Break Live, which is hilarious, and if it is ever done again, you should see it. It's the live show where a person from the audience gets to play the Keanu Reeves role and has a cue card lady. It is hilarious. You guys have never seen Point Break Live?
I've never been, but I've heard so many good things about it. I so want to go.
I have never heard my brother laugh as much in my entire life. I've never heard so many laughs come out of that man's body in such a short period of time. It's hilarious. That's the best thing. Other than that, I don't really care about it. I honestly don't. I think it was. I don't remember seeing it in the theaters when the original was out. And it's like I just don't care personally.
Do we think that this is kind of on the heels of the Fast and the Furious successes?
Maybe. I don't know.
Do we think it's kind of the same demographic?
If I cared enough to think anything, I think maybe I would have an opinion on that.
I think it's just hey.
God, what do you care about?
Other things that are important.
Do you care about Game of Thrones, Chad?
He does. We know that he does.
I care about A Song of Ice and Fire. I absolutely do.
Yes.
And Game of Thrones, the first book in the series of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yes.
Well, George R.R. Martin, he's working on Winds of Winter, right?
Yes.
But
he's got another one after that though too.
Yes, if he doesn't.
If he pulls a motherfucking Robert Jordan, I swear to God.
Let's not even talk about it. Please. Not. I've started to have palpitations.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about it. All right. Continue with what you were saying, Michelle.
No, I was just saying that
sadly, a cold sweat.
His publicists announced that he is not going to be working on season 6 of Game of Thrones again.
Finish the damn book.
So yeah, finish the book before you die. But I mean, apparently, we've talked about this. Like the HBO has the skinny about how it ends, and apparently they can finish it. Maybe, I hope.
I have a feeling they're doing an alternate thing. It's not really going to be able to. I don't know. I have a feeling because I'm watching the show now because I know there are going to be some spoilers, but some stuff is so far from what is conceivable to me that I just don't think they're really towing the line.
You're talking about on the show?
I mean, I don't think
I'm watching the show now.
You are watching the show now.
Everybody's watching.
I'm afraid of them spoiling crap. Yeah, any self-respecting Song of Ice and Fire fan is watching the show now of all seasons because they are surpassing parts, and so they might be spoiling things, they might not be. So that's why I'm watching it. Is I'm like, well, I don't understand half of this. You know what I mean? Like Jamie Lannister going to get Marcella from. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So much stuff that happens in the show is ridiculous in the context of the books. So you have to. It's constantly a guessing game, and so I'm curious.
From what I've heard.
Oh, go ahead.
No, well, from what I've heard, they are consulting with him on every change that they're making, and he's saying like what storylines to combine and what storylines to abandon completely because he's like, I'm not going anywhere with that in the books. Like the whole
that's the thing, yeah. Like the Greyjoys. Like there's not a single freaking Greyjoy in it. So what about this guy who's got the dragon horn in the books?
Absolutely. He's going to fucking old Valyria in the books, but he doesn't exist in the show.
And there's an entire the Golden Horde. Is that the name of those guys?
What you call me?
The Golden. The Golden Company, I think it is.
The Golden Company, correct. And that guy. That's the guy with grayscale, not friggin' the bear, you know? And it's like, that dude doesn't even exist in the show.
Nope.
Although, I must take this moment to plug Garrett. I love your breaking it down on your YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
Because I haven't read the novels and I am watching it, and I was like, oh, I listened to the one I listened to most recently was talking about the place where they have the grayscale. What's it called? Valyria.
Valyria.
Like the whole breaking Valyria down. Like it's great. Like it's cool. It's like the Cliff Notes. It's like Game of Thrones.
Thank you.
But I will say, they did kind of like, I was really upset with Walking Dead when they like veered away from the graphic novel, but I'm still okay with it. Like, you know, like it's maybe it could be good. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. I don't want to get on too much of a tangent, but Fear the Walking Dead, the new one, what exactly is the sort of the premise? Are they going to kind of start over in this sort of, but just in a different part of the country with different characters? Does anyone know what that's?
I don't know.
I don't really follow the show.
Like, I feel like they need a fresh start at this point. Right?
Don't you think? That's what I would think.
It's like they painted and they're in a corner and like they're like, shit, let's go to South Africa. There's more zombies down there.
Is the regular one going to be canceled? By the way, have you noticed the little twisties I just did with my mustache?
I did. That was fantastic. Well done, sir. Well done.
Such a hipster. All of a sudden, just instant hipster right here. Boom.
Just add mustache.
Boom. Just add twists to the mustache. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you can't see what is happening with my mustache, but I'm
You
just
hate us right now.
picture me as a hipster right now. That's what I look like. All right, go ahead. Sorry, continue.
Well, Chad, you're actually up next. I don't know
Oh,
if you
okay,
wanna
yes.
jump onto your
So
thing.
a lot of cool stuff. Google Chromecast. I don't know if you guys have purchased one. I know you have, Garrett.
Yes.
But listeners, I don't know if you guys have. Apparently, they are releasing a ton of new APIs. APIs, if you don't know, they're basically like it's kind of like a door that they open up to other developers of other apps so that other people can do stuff. Or if they want people to create apps for their product. So they've created like a bunch of new APIs for the Chromecast, and it's really cool. In fact, the Chromecast is one of their like most successful products. They have sold the cast button has been pushed apparently over 1.5 billion times. They've sold more than 17 million of these dongles, which is only $35. And it basically turns your TV into basically like an internet device. Just this one $35 thing. And so they're releasing some really cool new stuff. Like there was something that was in beta for a long time. I don't have a TV, but I have a Chrome. Oh, I just realized something. I lent my Chromecast to somebody, and I didn't get it back, and I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'm not going to have my freaking Chromecast.
Kick his fucking ass.
I'm calling him. I'm going to go get it. All right, so I'm going to go get it. I want my Chromecast. So it's really like they have this new thing where you can. It's not just like so. There's a thing where you can just mirror what's on your device.
Michelle.
Only a good like 15 seconds late, but okay, whatever.
The open Google effect.
Random sound effects. Okay, so there's this thing that, by the way, Garrett didn't believe actually happened, but it's where you can mirror what's on your device. You can actually. They not only do they have that, but they're actually going to make it a little bit more sophisticated so that you can. It's not a straight up mirror. Like if you are developing some kind of an app or something, you can give it. You can augment it. So it's more like a second screen kind of thing.
Wow.
So, yeah, and there's a bunch of other cool stuff that you're going to be able to, developers are going to be able to combine the different APIs and basically turn your TV into a really, really cool extension of your mobile devices.
Now, I got to say, I have the Chromecast, and I told you guys a while ago that I got the Fire Stick.
Right.
The Fire Stick has more selection.
Did you see a doctor, by the way? Did the doctor say anything about that?
Yeah, he said that the Fire Stick is just a totally normal thing for men of my age.
Didn't give you any medication or anything?
No cream, so I can't give you any. Sorry, Chad. I know that you were looking to get a little skim off
a little extra, extra cream.
No, but the Fire Stick has more selection, right? But if you need to show me how to do this mirror thing on the Chromecast. Because if I can mirror on the Chromecast and I can pull up the same selection that I have on the Fire Stick but do it on the Chromecast, dude.
Have you used it in a while? Because I think it's pretty baked in now. It used to be, just use it, make sure you update it, because if you don't update it, you're going to be using the same old software from before. But make sure you update it. What it was in a beta thing. It said like you had to go in and look for it, and then it would say mirror, and it's in beta,
Got it,
kind of thing. So, but I don't think it is anymore. I think it's pretty much like it's baked in now.
Because, dude, the user experience on the Chromecast is definitely better. Like, definitely much, much better. Much better. So, Chad? Chad? What
yes, I'm listening. I'm just twisting my mustache. Can't I multitask?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But that's cool. That's cool. And that's the thing about Google is just like, here's our software, build around it. Like, that's what they did with Android, and that's why Android is so successful.
You've heard about the 20% time with Google, right? Like I'm hearing that it's 20% time. Basically, 20% of your schedule, of your work schedule, you can basically work on whatever the hell you want.
Wow.
So that's now, mind you, I'm hearing that it's not happening as much as it used to or whatever, but it is. But that's like a thing. That's been a thing with Google for a long time, and that's how a lot of the really cool stuff is created when people are working on whatever the hell they want.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get into the main topics. I will begin with mine because I might have to be muted after that. As you have no doubt noticed by this point, I am not in my office. I am out of town this week, not back in Los Angeles. We are visiting family up in San Francisco, and I've been out of the city for less than 2 days. But I have to say that I feel amazing. It has been a huge load off of my mind just to be out of the house and out of town. And it's been really good for me, too. Like, today I have written 10,000 words so far. And it was, like, effortless.
Holy freaking, I've written 1 chapter of my textbook.
I wrote 10,000 times today.
So the point though is that I always feel more creative when I'm out of my own head, and sometimes the only way, or at least the best way, to get out of my own head is to get out of town, even if it's not out of the country, but just the next state or a couple of cities over, like a 6-hour drive to San Francisco. And I don't think that enough people do that necessarily. I think that staying in one little corner of the world all the time and never getting out and traveling a little bit sort of automatically limits your scope as an artist in a way, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that it's something that you can just substitute with going on the internet or looking at pictures of faraway places. Sometimes you just kind of have to go. And I feel like, especially if you're living in LA, I mean, let's face it, the best thing...
New York, too. People who live in New York have a very, very similar problem.
Yeah, the best thing about... Well, New York is different, though, because, the best thing about LA is the people. And the people aren't always that great. But if you have a community of people, then that's the best thing about it. But, it's not...
you guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's not a beautiful city. It's not particularly healthy, and it's motherfucking expensive. In New York, at least you can walk out and be like, that motherfucking building has been there for 180 years, and there's the Met, and there's, fucking Times Square, and there's things. And I don't feel like there's that many things in LA that are just awesome of their own right. Like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, anybody who thinks that the Hollywood Walk of Fame is an amazing tourist attraction, fucking needs to expand the scope of their existence. Come on.
But there are no buildings.
But there are
There are no structures in the United States that are as old as half the buildings and structures in Europe. You go to Europe, it's a whole other can of worms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. And I feel like spending too much time in LA gets you in a mindset where you only want to tell LA stories. And I feel like LA stories are the things that everybody complains about the film industry being filled with all this rehashed crap and da-da-da-da-da, and I sort of feel like I was drifting into that, and then now that I'm I can't really turn my whole computer to show you guys, but it's I look out and there are beautiful green sweeping hills vanishing off into eternity, and I'm just wow, I really need to not be in LA all of the time of my life. So that's my advice for the week. Get out of town every once in a while if you can.
And I will say that LA is it can be a little claustrophobic, but there are places within an hour's drive of LA that you can just go and spend a few hours that make you feel absolutely rejuvenated.
Right.
Angeles National Forest is the most stunning, wonderful, secluded, ridiculous place to go and just kind of recharge. There's beaches, and I think that you don't have to go to, even San Francisco. I think that you can just, go to a new town or go out and find a new place in Griffith Park or something that bring your laptop and sit
expanding
and write.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of my best writing is done. Not that I write anything that's of worth other than this fabulous textbook I'm working on, but some of my best textbook writing is done when I am in a completely different place at a completely different time, because I just feel stifled at my computer. This is what I do. This is this kind of thing. So yeah, I'm with you.
The funny thing is I don't know if this is something, because I actually have a pretty strong belief that there are different types, two very distinctly different types of people. Most of the people that we know, most of the people in our families are workaday people that just focus on the day. And these guys, they actually live for the weekends. They live for their vacations, and they take vacations.
Everybody's looking for the weekends.
And the rest of, like, the artists, a lot of the artists that we are, especially the ones that are not, living off of their art yet, a lot of them are poor, and they just don't have a lot of money to go out and travel and whatnot. And if they do have time, if they do work some kind of day job, when they take the time off, they want to take it to make a movie. So I think that it is particularly important for now. I actually, one of the best things I ever did was buy my bicycle. I live about 4 miles east of the office where I work, and when I ride that bicycle in traffic, even I get it. To me, I feel the wind through my hair. I love it, and I do it as much as I can. I try to ride my bike like 4 days a week at least.
Yeah.
There's cool stuff though.
Sorry, I just had a little image of Chad like on his bike, like dun, 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 with his like long
hair streaming in the wind.
his, like little mustache, like no, like slow mo too, like no, yeah.
But I live right off, like, they built the exposition line, and there's a bike lane all the way down the exposition line, and I live pretty close to it, so I take that bike lane all the way to work, and there's a part where it actually goes off onto the Bologna Creek Park, and I can take, like, sometimes when I feel like it, I'll jump on the Bologna Creek Park. It's a 10-mile ride all the way to the beach, so it ends up being a 20-mile ride all the way to the beach and all the way home, and it's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just need to expand their horizons a little bit
Yes.
every once in a while. Like, if you find yourself doing the same thing every single day, you gotta shake it up every once in a while, because it really does shake your mind up a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And
there you go.
I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but I do feel it's very important. I think it's also important to kind of shake it up as far as your social interactions, because like in LA, it's very easy to have your one group of people that you see and you work with, but and especially in film, it's hard to meet new people unless you go to a new project or you audition or there's a new collaboration. But like just literally going out and meeting new people and kind of getting their idea on film and like what they're doing, and I find it very interesting.
Stealing their script ideas and writing it yourself and making a multi-million-dollar. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Toast.
Idea theft. So I'm gonna move on away from idea theft, if that's okay with you, and talk about.
Yeah.
So I stumbled onto this article this week about virtual reality and augmented reality. There's a website called digitalcontentnext.org, and the article, this is where the article was. It came out just in fact, it was 2 days ago. It came out 2 days ago, and what it was like they basically did sort of a what do you call it? Like a breakdown of all the different things that have been happening recently with alternate reality, augmented reality, and virtual reality. Now, neither of you guys have actually checked out one of these headsets, right?
No, not yet.
Michelle, have you?
Almost did. I saw it at the meeting when I was with you, but I had to run, and I saw Valentina checking it out. So
I've been bringing mine to the workshop and showing it to people, and it's not. You cannot really understand it until you see it, because the main problems that if you've seen it in the past, if you've seen it during the 90s or whenever it was actually happening, it was so bad. It was just really like the goggles. The angle of your view was like this, and which you can't see, which is like whatever. 30 to 40 degrees, and then if
our audio listeners hate us this week,
right. So, and there was also a lag. So when you turn your head, the view would lag a little bit, so it didn't seem in any way real at all.
Right.
But when you see it. When you actually see it and you put in the headphones and you're in it, it is like it feels like you have literally been transported to that place. And there's a whole thing of Iceland, and you're going through Iceland and stuff, and it's amazing. And until you actually say what?
Carry on.
What? Oh.
She was just pouring herself a lot of vodka.
Oh, okay, excellent. So
Wine?
vodka? Hilarious. Anyway, so
Silence
this
people.
so this article that I read was basically talking about how it's actually really, really picking up steam, and there was just a ton of these bullet points about all the different things that are happening. Like for instance, as you probably already know, Facebook bought Oculus for $2 billion. Then they turned around and bought another, but augmented reality startup. And if the difference between augmented reality, by the way, and virtual reality is, and I would imagine that augmented reality is even more difficult than virtual reality, because you basically, what augmented reality is, you're not blocking somebody's vision and then giving them a completely different thing. You're actually adding to what you would normally see when you look around. Like there are video games, for instance, that you can play in your office, basically, and you're seeing these people that don't actually exist because you're wearing goggles, but they're like walking down the hallway in your office. You know, like that's what augmented reality is it uses the environment that is actually around you, whereas virtual reality is just you're in this whole other world. So anyway, Facebook also then went and bought the alternate reality startup called Surreal Vision. Apple acquired an augmented reality company called Mateo. I don't even know how you pronounce it. And there's something like 2,300 patents that are basically that are dealing with virtual reality and augmented reality. Now they just said that's the total number of patents, so it didn't say if they're all from the super recent past or not. So but my guess is because we haven't been hearing much about it recently.
I've used Mateo in the past. It's actually pretty trippy. They had an app out where you could be out on the street and you could pull up your phone and pull up the Mateo app and you could look around, and it would have over every single building there was a little hovering icon, and you tapped on it and it would pull up their Yelp reviews, their Google their Google Maps reviews. It was awesome.
I have a friend who shall remain nameless, who I don't know if this is patented or not yet, but who just created a video game that has product placement, like ridiculous product placement in the video game. If at any time you find oh, I like that chick's outfit, you click on it and you can buy it at like Forever 21 or something.
That's incredible.
It's just absolutely ridiculous.
That's what this is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And brands are jumping on board. Like they're jumping on board in a major way. Like Marvel teamed up with Samsung and released this thing. There's the 2015 FIS Alpine World Ski Championship has a whole thing that you can check out. NBC apparently gave fans VR access to be basically in the middle of a star-studded audience of Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary special. So there's all of these. So it's about to flip and go mainstream very soon. When the Rift actually goes live for consumers in December, I have a feeling by then I don't think Apple's going to be able to wait that long. I mean, I know they try to get stuff together really, really well, but I don't know. It just seems like they got to hurry up. It's not like the iPad. Like before the iPad, people had been putting out tablets, but they fucking sucked. And then Apple was just like, here's the iPad. It's fucking incredible. But now it's like there's something that already exists, which is already awesome. And Samsung is killing it. I mean, I love my gear. I play my video game on it. When I jump on the plane tomorrow, I'm going to watch movies in a moon. It's like you're watching a movie theater on the moon. It is the freaking coolest. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say. There's a lot of cool stuff. Keep your eyes out for virtual reality, augmented reality. It's happening. It's on the way. Trust me.
Okay.
Love it. Yeah. All right. Things to know.
Well, no, sorry, that note was actually for Chad. My bad. But that's fine. We're just going to jump right into the community news before the end of the show. Sorry, I've made this tremendously confusing now.
Do you want me to talk about community news?
Go for it. Go for it.
So the next workshop, by the way, we are done. This last Wednesday was the last workshop until July because of WMMFest. So I will talk about if that's okay that I talk about both, Garrett. I'd like, just because I'm super familiar with everything. So the next writer's workshop is going to be, sorry? Talking to me? No?
Yeah, I just said please do because I have no idea about any of this stuff.
So the next writer's workshop is going to be July at the Theater Asylum, and then the rest of the July schedule is going to be kind of normal. I'm fairly certain it's then the Improv and then another writer's workshop and then what's next. So the full calendar is up, wemakemovies.org/calendar. Also check out the June calendar because it shows not only all of our WMMFest screenings, it also shows a bunch of the different Hollywood Fringe shows that We Make Movies members are in. And if I haven't already mentioned it 17,000 times, Hollywood Fringe is a fantastic, fun film, theater festival, in the middle of Hollywood. And in June, it is just one of the best places to be in June. It's so much fun. And there's so many, I'm not going to pretend there aren't some bad shows. There are some bad shows, but there's also a bunch of really good shows from all around the world. And all you have to do is go hang out at Fringe Central, which this year is going to be in, I believe, part of the Dragonfly right on Santa Monica Boulevard, just west of the complex right there on Santa Monica, on the south side of Santa Monica Boulevard. I don't think it's going to be the whole thing. June 10th, I'm sure all of the Dragonfly will be the Fringe opening night party because it's a huge party, and that will definitely fill it up. But I think Fringe Central, it basically is where you go, you hang out with people, you find out about shows, and you just ask around. You're like, what are the good shows, And if it's not their own show, people are probably going to tell you some honest stuff. Obviously, if they're talking about their own show, they're going to, of course, be plugging it.
It's just like a big meeting of the creative minds in Hollywood, as far as
theater people.
Theater, yeah. But
so I need to say that the most honest way to interview a candidate for a new job is to ask people who know him rather than ask the person themselves.
But the thing of it is it's the first time I went to the Hollywood Fringe back in 2012, I felt like I was out of Los Angeles. I felt like I was suddenly in New York City or San Francisco or Portland. I was in a city where people were actually talking to each other and connecting and not afraid to meet each other's eyes. You know what I mean? It was so cool. So anyway, that's happening, and go to the calendar, check out the other shows that other We Make Movies members are in. And if you are in a show, if you are in a Hollywood a Fringe show, send me all the stuff in an email, times, dates, theaters. If it switches theaters, also definitely hook that up with the dates of the show, the name of the show, obviously, the names of all the We Make Movies members that are in that show or a part of it, and definitely, of course, the show URL. Email it to WMMFest@WeMakeMovies.org, and please add to the WMM calendar. Please put that in all caps. That would be fantastic in the subject header, and I will get it into our calendar as soon as I can, even though I'm going to Hawaii in the morning. Now, WMMFest.com also has all of the shows, most of the shows. I'm going to tell you right now, there's at least 3 shows that are not listed on the website for various reasons. If you have a postcard, you will see the names of the shows on the postcard, but there are some shows that we want to protect their premiere status, to be completely honest with you. And they're sort of still in they're not even necessarily going to be done per se. They might be still sort of in a workshop form. If you are a regular or a member, you have comps. There was an email that was sent out to you. If you don't, to show you how to get those comps. If you don't have that email, you can't find it, just go ahead and email WMMFest@WeMakeMovies.org, and we will resend it to you or give you instructions fresh. And do not forget, you need to reserve your comps at least 48 hours before the screening time. You can buy tickets at any time up until, I think, 3 or 4 hours before, or you can just come with cash. But if you come with cash, the minimum you're going to be able to pay is $10. So you're going to have, anyway, unless you have a button. Anyway, there's things, lots of ways to buy tickets. But if they get sold out, by the way, there's nothing we can do about it. If the show is sold out and you didn't use your comp ahead of time, that's your bad, because you've had plenty of time to get your damn comp. So Chad, are there any films being shown in the schedule that any of us have worked on or done or written
maybe
or directed or produced?
Maybe?
I don't know.
Maybe on June 11th you can go and see Unsaid.
Maybe.
What's that? What's Unsaid?
At 3 clubs?
I don't know this. I'm not familiar with this.
Fabulous.
Yeah, Unsaid, the film that I wrote, directed, and Michelle produced, and Chad first AD'd, and Michelle starred in amazingly, totally awesome, is showing at the 3 clubs on June 11th. So definitely come by.
First night of the screening. Also.
Yeah. That's right.
Exactly. So if you're there, you will be there, and you'll get to walk the red carpet and do the whole opening kind of Hollywood experience for the low price of, I believe, a $10 ticket. Correct?
$10 is the maximum. $10 is the maximum. If you are a member, there's various discounts, but you've probably already received the email, hopefully. So anyway, I think that's it.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
fantastic. Well,
Patreon?
let's move toward the end, but before we do, somebody wants to say hi to you guys.
Hello.
The
Hi.
family just came back, so that's why we have to wrap up early.
Who is
Hey, that's Desmond, everybody. Hi.
Desmond?
He likes seeing himself on camera for sure. And with that, I will call an end to this episode of the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast. Thank you so much
Things to
for
know.
watching or listening. If you are yeah, sorry, Chad.
No things to know. Go to
Okay,
Dances with Films. Go to Dances with Films.
Go to Dances with Films. We will catch you next week. I have been Garrett Robinson. You can find me at garrettbrobinson.com. Chad is at superfreako.com, and Michelle is on Twitter at mlukadu. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Woohoo! Bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Oh my god, so cute.